Yo, 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 it's your boy Jamar, Top Chef Sports Talk, back with another video. Sixers free agency. Sixers free agency, man, listen. We got Paul George. I don't know if you guys were excited about that move. I've heard mixed reviews about having Paul George. I mean, the only knock that he has had on his career is being able to stay healthy in key times. So is Embiid. I mean, you want to be able to be relied upon when it's coming down to the stretch. So you want to be in position to win for your team, and the only way you could do that is to be healthy. Um, I think this last year he played 74 games. Joel Embiid got hurt. He got that torn meniscus last year, and it derailed his season. But I think this season, I think they have some chemistry with the USA team. I think that bringing Drummond back, which a lot of you people were on board with, wanted him last year at the trade deadline. I think they're moving on from Paul Reed, but bringing Drummond back will help minimize the taxing that you're going to put on Joel Embiid's body, because now you have somebody in there that can rebound and play defense, and he's not a big scorer, but he could be relied on to 8-10 points a game. I mean, it was stretches when Embiid was out when he first signed here that he had 20, 25, 28 points in one game. So I believe that he can hold it down a little bit better than Paul Reed can. And I had high hopes for Paul Reed. I had high expectations for Paul Reed. I thought B-Ball was going to take off that last year. I thought B-Ball was going to thrive in that role, being as though they relied on him and they gave him a contract. They actually poached him away from Utah, matched their offer, and took him, and signed him back. So I actually thought that B-Ball was actually going to take that next step. I was actually, when Nick Nurse was saying that they were going to use him like Pascal Siakam, I was like, wow, this is, that would be the perfect complement to Joel Embiid, and it would take the pressure off of him, because we all know what Tobias Harris, what he did in the 5-year tenure that he was with the Sixers. Tobias Harris over me. We all remember that famous quote. Jimmy Butler, when the Miami Heat put out the Sixers in the second round. We all remember that famous quote. And every Sixer fan lived that haunted us for the next couple years. You know what I mean? Because last year he had flashes, and we thought that he was going to be out of his shell in a new system with Nick Nurse, being able to do different things, be in different places on the court. But when it came down to playoff time, the guy was MIA. MIA. And maybe he just didn't like playing here. Maybe he just didn't like playing with Embiid. Maybe he just didn't want to. He got confused on his roles throughout the years, because he did that first year outside of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. He was supposed to be that second option to Joel Embiid, because we knew Ben Simmons wasn't going to score the ball. But once they traded for Jimmy Butler, no, I'm sorry. Once they traded for James Harden, he took a back step, and I think he was. I don't know if he was intimidated by Harden's play. I don't know what his thought process was, but my thing was he just never got into any type of rhythm, any type of like comfort playing alongside a Joel Embiid. I mean, for Christ's sake, Maxey came out of nowhere and just took his shine. You know what I mean? Which none of us actually think about it. If Ben Simmons doesn't hold out, we don't know what Maxey doing. We don't know if Maxey can be this type Maxey if Ben Simmons doesn't hold out. But Ben Simmons held out. Maxey showed up, and he maximized the time that he had on that court while understanding who he was and the role that he played in that position. Tobias Harris just never got to that point. And I reported last year that if we can go in the playoffs and get Tobias Harris to average 20 and 10, we would beat the Knicks. Now, I'm not saying we would have won a championship, but if we could have got him a consistent 20 and 10, 20 and 10, which is not hard for a guy like Tobias Harris to do, a power forward who has the ability to shoot the three and take it to the cup. He could have easily gave us 20 and 10. That was what we needed from him. We wanted from him. we should have got from him. He should have been a consistent over his career and his time here. 20, 25 points, 10 rebounds a game. Consistently. Should have been no problem from Tobias Harris. But that's not what we got from him. So we're not going to, he's moved on to Detroit, and we're not going to cry over that. We're going to welcome in PG. Everybody give a round of applause to PG. Welcome, PG. Only thing I'm going to go online right now and say, don't come here and do a Tobias Harris after getting paid. You got 4 years, 212. That's what you were looking for. That's what you got. Be that Paul George that we known you to be over your career. Be that killer. Be that dagger in the back. Take the load off Embiid. This is Embiid's team. We know that. This is Embiid's team. But take the load off of Embiid. If you want to play with him in a stretch run, you and Maxey need to figure that out from day one. You and Maxey need to shelter most of that load from day one, keep the pressure off Embiid, and also keep the pressure off yourself. We still haven't figured out the rest of the roster. We know we signed Kelly Oubre, Andre Drummond, Eric Gordon, which means I believe Kyle Lowry is gone. But we still need to figure out with the roster. We saw Batum. He went back to LA, which I thought he wanted to be anyway. We saw DeAnthony Melton. He went to Golden State, and we saw Tobias Harris obviously go to Detroit, which we don't care about. But there's still guys out there that we need to try to get, in the folds. Buddy Hield, we need to see if we could do something with him. I think a full year under that system, it's hard to come into a system mid-season that is a complicated system that you're not used to playing. It's hard to come in and learn that and be comfortable in that mid-season when you're going to a team that has playoff aspirations and possibly championship aspirations. It's hard. It's a lot of pressure. So I believe that if he can come in a full season under Nick Nurse, he'll be a lot better. He'll understand the system a little bit better. He'll know what he's supposed to be at, what he's supposed to do. I mean, for Christ's sake, we saw him go off for 20 points in 3 quarters. No, 20 points. Well, it was 20 points and a half. And what killed me about that game, they had no answer for Buddy Hield, but we gave them the answer for him. We just set him down in the third quarter. Said, you know what? You the hot hand, but we're gonna sit you down. Nick Nurse, you need to sharpen that up. That made no sense. I'm looking at you right now in the camera telling you, made no sense. He was killing them, and they had no answer for him. And we said, you know what? We'll give you the answer. We'll take him out and sit him down for you so y'all can catch up. We got to change that mindset. I don't know if it's a Philly thing. We're supposed to be blue-collar city, dogs, fighters. We rumble to the end. We don't give up. But it seems like in all of our sports, when we get a lead and we sustain some type of a lead, we get passive-aggressive. Like, we slow down. Like, we feel sorry for a team. We got to get out of that mindset. We got to say to ourselves, no matter what is going on, what you're doing, we are going to keep our foot on your necks no matter what. PG, we brought you here precisely for that reason. We need your foot on the other team's neck no matter what. I don't care what Joel Embiid is doing. I don't care what Max is doing. Those guys are going to figure out how to get their offense. You need to come in and get comfortable with it. You need to come in and understand the system. You need to make sure you still remain the PG that we saw in the Pacers, to the Thunder, to the Clippers, especially last year's PG, who played 74 games. We need that. Because if you're going up against the likes of Boston, we saw New York get Mikal Bridges, which is now really the Nova Knicks, and they signed Anunoby back. They still got Julius Randle. Jalen Brunson is a killer. So they're instantly contenders. Boston. You can't forget about Milwaukee, even though they make too much noise in this offseason. but they still got Dame time and Giannis. And they still got like the sleepers, Cleveland's, the Magics, even Miami. You can't even count them out because you know how that Heat culture is. So from game one, day one, we need to make sure we operate within the system of Nick Nurse and be, let's say, competitive, but be unapologetic about how you play. Put your foot on their neck and keep it there and don't stop. It's going to be rough nights. But in those rough nights, we got to get back in the lab and figure things out and not let that carry on for consecutive nights. Joel Embiid, calling you out to be the leader. Lead by emotion. Lead by example. Let guys know that you are here and you're here to stay. And this is your team, and you're going to dictate the mood of the team because you're going to come out with this dog attitude, this dog mentality, and you're going to bark on people when you need to. I don't care if it's Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, whoever it may be, but you're going to set the tone from the time the ball is tipped to the clock hits zeros in the fourth quarter. Emotionally, too. Not just physically, not just by your play, but emotionally. People might say, like, emotionally, what are we doing? We playing fiddle-faddle or whatever the case? No, but see, here's the thing. Energy is contagious. Energy is contagious. If you, like for instance, with Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant came out with a killer attitude, a killer mindset. No games being played. No F's given right now. I got a mission, and the mission is to win. I don't care if it's the first game of the season, the midway of the season, or the last game of the season. I'm winning. I'm going to win. And my energy is going to show you that I'm not playing around, that I am trying to win. And that's going to radiate through my team. When we out here on this hardwood, between these white lines, we play no games. We come out and we do our job and we get our job done. After the game, we can play around. Not even before the game, after the game. And even in practice, we don't play. We play practice like we playing in a game. Game 7 of the NBA Finals should be played like that in practice. You should play like that while you're in practice, like you're in the NBA Finals. You know why? Because that mentality radiates through your team, and your team knows nothing but to go out and handle business. Joel Embiid, you got to set that to him. You got to show that to him. You got to be that person. Because at the end of the day, they all feed off your energy. There was games last year and years before that we saw you with a mopey mentality, and it radiated through the team, and nobody was doing anything that they were supposed to do, and we wound up losing games because of that. I don't care if you're losing by 30. Still keep your killer instinct face on. Still go out there and kill. Even down by 30. Because guess what? If your soldiers see you in battle, not giving up, still fighting, still going after loose rebounds, still blocking shots, still doing whatever it takes to try to get a victory, guess what they're going to do? They're going to fight with you. That guy ain't giving up. Why am I giving up? He's our franchise, and I'm trying to aspire to be that. Why would I give up looking at my franchise not give up? But when you moping around, got your head down, your body language is all off, that's going to radiate through the team. Guys are going to pick up on that and do that. Well, he don't care. Why do I care? That's what's going to be said. You have to set it now. You won a championship, right? You got to set it now. They went out and they're bringing the pieces in to get you to that championship level. You got to establish it now. Like I said, I don't care if it's Paul George messing up. You got to bark at him and tell him, like, listen, at the end of the day, while we on this court, it might sound a little disrespectful. I love you. I want you to get mad so you can fix it and so we don't have to have this exchange again. But I'm coming for you when you mess up. If you mess up, I am coming for you. That is my job. Maxey, if you're not aggressive enough, I will come for you. I don't care who's in the court. Eric Gordon, you ain't showing up. What you doing? I'm coming. But when you do show up and we do get these dubs, I will also come to you and tell you, keep it up. That's just the beginning. So that is the mentality that Embiid needs to have this year. Because he's running out of time. He's running out of time. And unlike years past with the Sixers organization and things like that, they've actually tried to put some pieces around him. They did mess up Tobias Harris signing, and they should have kept Jimmy Butler. We all know that now. And in the beginning, when we made the deal, and I'm not saying this is 100% of you guys out there, but when we made that deal, because we felt like Jimmy Butler didn't want to play under Brett Brown, and he didn't want to play with Ben Simmons, that keeping Tobias Harris was the better move because that allowed you to keep Ben Simmons at least. And you were hoping that Ben Simmons was going to develop into that guy we've seen out there in the mixtapes in the summertime. We all thought we was going to see that one day. And if we would have got that version of Ben Simmons, who knows where we would have been at by now or what we would have been talking about by now. But we never did, and we don't even really talk about Ben Simmons on the show because he's an absolute failure. And I'm not saying that trying to disrespect him, but dude, you got paid some real money and actually done nothing. You got out of Philly what you wanted, went to Brooklyn, was on the super team, and didn't play. And you're still not playing. But you still post videos in the summertime, working out, hitting 3-point shots, doing all this stuff that every fan of whatever team you're going to be on will be like, man, I hope we get this version of him, and he's never going to show up. But I ain't spend no time with that guy. But all I'm saying to you is that at that time of that signing, because of that situation with Jimmy Butler not wanting to play with Brett Brown, under Brett Brown, or not wanting to play alongside of Ben Simmons, we thought that we got the better deal by getting Tobias Harris, and we thought if we paid him, he would play like we paid him. He just unfortunately didn't do it. He didn't step up to the plate. So that's why I'm saying this Sixers organization has tried to help Embiid out with different players throughout the years, but Embiid also has to say to his organization, I am now going to step up and be that responsible franchise player that you asked me to be and hold everybody accountable and take every game, practice, regular season, playoffs, and finals game serious. And I'm playing, as long as I'm in the game, I play the game to the end until I'm getting taken out of the game. And even on the bench, I'm coaching guys up. I am telling guys, this is what you should have done on that, or look at this the next time that person do that. That is what you have to do to win a championship. You always see the best players on other teams coaching guys up. A lot of times when we see Embiid, we see him on the end of the bench, not really engaged in what's going on being said, not telling the guys you should do this, you should try that. If you see this coverage, go there, swing the ball here, look at him over there, because if they rotate him, he's going to be wide open. You throw the ball at him, and he can swing it back. Sky's the limit. But you have to be engaged like that. Because, again, energy is infectious. If you got a bunch of energy, your team will have a bunch of energy. But it starts with you. Again, I just want to say, the Sixers bring in Paul George, 4 years, $212 million. Re-sign Maxey, 5 years, $204 million. Embiid is locked up for another 2 or 3 years I think he had $234 million, something like that. They bring in Eric Gordon. They bring in DeAndre Drummond. They're still bringing in more people. They still got to fill out the roster. They got to see what's going on in free agency. I would have liked them to have gotten Klay, but Klay didn't want to come here, and he didn't even want to go to his dad's team, the Lakers. But we still are filling out this roster, and I believe that Daryl Morey will find guys to fill out this roster that will be complementary to Maxey, Paul George, and Joel Embiid. He has to. And at the end of the day, we need that to be able to compete. There's a lot of heat in this East right now, a lot of it. So we need to make sure we fill out the roster with guys that's going to play, but we also got to make sure we hold our franchise player accountable for making sure that these guys are going to play. Now I saw one time Shaq said something about it's not my job to make a guy a guy to have a guy ready to play the game, and he's totally right. But I think what Barkley was trying to tell him in that instance was that it's not your job to make him want to play or ready to play, but he's feeding off of you and your energy. So if you're coming out with bad energy, he's gonna have bad energy because he's looking at you and saying, well, you got bad energy, why can't I? And you're our franchise player. And you've seen like even the stories with Kobe saying, like if Shaq would have just took it a little bit more serious, we could have been a dynasty. And Shaq admits that now. But Shaq still doesn't understand like the energy of it all is like it's on you. Like, cause if I know I'm like the third, fourth best on the team, but I'm looking at you with low energy, head down low, moping around, not playing the game with enthusiasm, the things that you should, I'm saying to myself, why should I? Now that might be the wrong mindset that I'm having, but I'm thinking to myself, why should I? And so at the end of the day, Embiid has to change that. You want to win, you got to change that. So, long story short, this was a show about the 76ers free agency. The big signing of Paul George, re-signing Tyrese Maxey, bringing in Eric Gordon, bringing in Andre Drummond. We still got more to see. You guys, comment below. Tell me what you feel about what we've done so far. What do you think? What do you think you're going to see in the future? And how and what other pieces that you think you can bring in to make the team, to fill out the roster and make the team better? Again, it's your boy Jamar, Top Shelf Sports Talk. I'm back. Peace.